reflect in the 11 years since then and just kind of remember those that are serving our country as well as those that have perished throughout these times. And so let's just take a moment, and then Mr. Moore will pray for us this evening.
Now, if you'll join me in the spirit of prayer. Gracious and loving God, we are reminded on this day of the dangers that beset our nation and the world. We are conscious of others who have died in defense of our freedoms. We are aware of the frailty of our own existence on this earth. So we offer this invocation to focus on the blessings of our lives. Help us to be thankful for the gifts that make our lives worth living, for the safety and security afforded us by our local government, for the local services on which we all depend, clean water, waste management, safe streets, fire and rescue, and all the people who make these services a reality. We ask for their safety and protection. We are hopeful people, determined to see a future where our community is blessed by our schools and teachers and administrators. We are faithful people, serving in faith communities to worship you, to make disciples, and to serve others. May you, gracious God, bless these proceedings with the spirit of wisdom and cooperation. May you bless these who govern the citizens of our community. May we always be mindful of those decisions that affect those who have less. And may we offer a helping hand when the opportunity arises. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Moore. At this time, the meeting is now in order. I would like if the clerk would call the roll, please. Here.
Francis?
Here.
Miller?
Here.
Tennerman?
Here.
Fogel?
Here.
Ashley?
Here.
And Willis?
Here.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to read the certificate of the clerk to the presiding officer of council from the municipal clerk of council. The undersigned certifies that all requirements to notice and notification has been done or attempted to be done in compliance with Council Rule 3, signed September 11, 2012. Linda Cantrell. At this time, we have an absence on the workshop from August 28th, Mr. Tinnerman. At this time, I'd like the clerk to call the roll.
Did someone
To
make
excuse
a
the
motion?
absence. Yeah,
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to excuse Councilmember Tennerman from the...
thank you.
Second.
I can't
Roll call,
always hear
please.
you, just so you'll know that. Okay, Francis?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Tennerman?
Abstain.
Okay, Fogel?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yes.
Willis?
Yes.
And Mayor Cope?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Cantrell. At this time, all of council should have received their minutes for the previous workshop as well as the council meeting. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve those minutes from the council meeting on August 14th.
So moved.
Second.
Will council have anything to add to those minutes or discussion? No? Roll call, please.
Francis?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Tennerman?
Yes.
Fogel?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yes.
Willis?
Yes.
And Mayor Cope?
Yes, the minutes have been approved. At this time, you have your workshop minutes from the August 28th meeting. I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes as written.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Francis?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Tennerman?
Yes.
Fogel?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yes.
Willis?
Yes.
And Mayor Cope?
Yes. Thank you. At this time, this evening, we want to recognize some members of our community that have shown some great care to their homes. And at this time, I'd like to invite them forward here in just a minute. I'd just like to read off their names, and we will recognize them with an award tonight, as well as there will be a sign placed in their yards to draw the attention of the community, and people can enjoy driving by those places, these homes. The first award goes to Harold and Beverly Batters of 100 Tracy Lane. And then the second award goes to Karen Houston, 254 Lowry Drive. And the third is James and Carolyn Green at 210 Wagner Road. We appreciate their enthusiasm and the job they do to take care of the homes. And so at this time, I'd like to invite them forward and up to the front and receive their plaques and for a picture. Thank you.
Right. Try to hide from the camera. Gotcha. As much as possible.
If you guys would mind just standing all in the front here. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Be a little different. At this time, I believe we have some correspondence to council from the Brick House Cafe, and I'd like Mr. Klein to inform us on that.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control, it's informing us that the Brick House Cafe and Catering, also known doing business as the Brick House Cafe, at 2 South Miami Street downtown, has applied for a liquor permit. This one actually is they've filled out the paperwork correctly from Ohio Liquor Control, and it's actually the D1, D2, and D3 permit. It's very similar to, well, it's exactly the same as the actions that you've taken with at the edge of town by favors. Thank you. It's up to council whether they would like to make a motion for a hearing or not. That's what they're asking.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we do not request a hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Second the motion.
Second. At this time, will the clerk please call the roll?
Okay, Francis,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Tinnerman,
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Ashley,
Yes.
Willis,
Yes.
and Mayor Cope.
Yes, the motion has passed to not have a hearing regarding the Brick House Cafe. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Does that conclude that, Mr. Klein?
That's all.
Okay. Thank you. At this time, I guess we'll move on to tonight's legislation. And the first item we have is a second reading, CM-12-27, and I'll allow the law director to read the title.
It's an ordinance to amend the 2012 appropriations.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion from council regarding this ordinance.
Make the motion to accept.
What's that?
Make the motion to accept it.
Yeah.
Second.
Second. Roll call, please.
Francis,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Tinnerman,
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Ashley,
Yes.
Willis.
Yes.
And Mayor Cope.
Yes. The ordinance has been adopted. At this time, we also have an CM-12-28, an ordinance to change fees. I'll turn this over to the law director.
Thank you. An ordinance amending various sections of the codified ordinances to modify the fee structures in order to cover usual and customary expenses associated with these operations. Whereas it has been determined that several existing fees do not cover the typical customary and usual expenses associated with daily operations, and whereas it is council's desire that these fees should be adjusted to meet expenses. Now therefore be it ordained by the council of the municipality of West Milton as follows. Section 1, the Park Board has the authority pursuant to Municipal Ordinance 31.39 to establish fees for the use of the municipal park. The Park Board is not currently an active board. Pursuant to the authority of the municipal charter, the council hereby establishes the fee for rental of the park shelter at $30. Section 2, Chapter 76.15, any person receiving a ticket indicating a violation of the applicable sections and rules as set forth in 76.13 shall, within 24 hours of the time of such violation, deposit such ticket together with the sum of $10 in a courtesy box or at the office of the Director of Finance located at the municipal building in full satisfaction of such violation. After 24 hours, the cost of a ticket shall be $25. Section 3, Chapter 150.333B, each application for a certificate of zoning compliance shall be accompanied by a fee of $20. This application fee shall not be refunded in any case. Section 4, this ordinance shall go into effect and be in full force from the earliest day allowed by law.
Thank you. This is, I believe, it's the first reading for this ordinance.
That's fair.
Thank you. Excuse me. At this time, we'll move on to Mr. Klein for his.
Thank you, Mayor. If I would have known Lene was going to be here tonight, I would have written at least 2 pages for the ordinance 28. So she got off lucky. We do have, we got some, well, it's not really correspondence, but there's actually 3 steps when you deal, when a council, not just this council, but every council within every county in the state of Ohio, you prepare yourself for the following year's budget. And if you'll recall, in June, you made a motion to make application to the County Budget Commission without having a hearing. And in July, you accepted or made a motion to accept setting the rates for next year. That action was taken, paperwork was filed, it's been given to the County Budget Commission. The Budget Commission has then set the rates as we all expected them to do, and then they turn around and they send us this piece of paper, which then needs council's motion to accept and your signatures. So before you leave tonight, I will need your signature, each of your signatures on this piece of paper. But it's basically, council needs to make a motion, and I included a copy of it to you. Make a motion accepting what the Miami County Budget Commission has set for next year's millage rates. The first one is the state of Ohio or the Ohio Revised Code sets a 10 mil levy. That's just an automatic 10 mil levy that is then shared amongst many different governing bodies within the county. In this particular case, you'd be sharing it with Union Township, us, I believe there's an ambulance district, a library, etc. We get 3.4 out of those 10 mills. That's been typical over the years, and it's not changed. And then we also have a street levy that is 3.0 mills each year. So this is, I think it expires in fiscal year 2013. So then it sets the millage and sets the rates of the expected revenues for 2013. So if you notice at the bottom there, At a meeting of the council, someone tonight would need to make a motion accepting these rates as determined by the Miami County Budget Commission.
And I have a question. These rates are for 2012 or 2013?
Should be for 2013, and I'm not sure why it says.
Because every place else says 2012, except for where it says the street levy expires in tax year 2013.
That's the state of Ohio.
They got
that
it
has.
right on top, it's not right down here.
Let's just tell them
The preceding budget, that's right, but down here is
Right.
This is the paperwork that we got from the
And
Budget
this should be
Commission.
for 2012. And that's just letting me know that it expires in.
We'll,
I get one of those.
we'll make sure that it's the right date.
Okay. I was just, because I was thinking it was for the fiscal year 2013.
That's what I thought so too, and it should say that, but this is the paperwork that was, this is the
Yeah.
original, I have the original paperwork. It's actually signed by the auditor of the county, and it does say 2012. I'll check that.
Okay.
And I'll get you an answer in my weekly
Because
memo.
we'll be
Okay.
high on tax.
Matt, I think that the tax year starts in July of 12,
Ah,
So that's why it's
and
12.
then goes
Okay.
through 13.
That's
why I
correct.
would say 12. And
I know the state of
You
Ohio
don't
is that
have
way,
that.
but I
I
think
think
it
that's
is
how
that way.
the-
I didn't think it was that way for the county, but it must be.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
So are we going to look for a motion and then wait to sign it until?
No, we actually need it signed and submitted to.
Dated tonight.
This is the paperwork that we got from the county.
Oh,
And
okay.
and I believe
Right.
Mrs. Miller's absolutely correct.
Yeah, because you're a year behind in collecting taxes, so you're doing 2012.
This is right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we're good.
Okay.
Okay.
And they just let you know that when it expires, because they do that on the
Right.
ambulance board when we have as well,
Okay.
so.
And can I just clarify, this is basically a replacement of what we already have? I mean, the
It's just
millage-
it's a continuation of what we already have, yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Can I make a motion that we accept the millage as assigned from the county?
From the Budget Commission. I'll second his motion.
Okay. Would there be any discussion regarding this motion? No?
Oh, he did.
You already said, yeah, sorry. Oh, okay, roll call, please.
Francis,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Tennerman,
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Ashley,
Yes,
Willis,
Yes.
and Mayor Cope.
Yes.
So don't leave without you, I'll grab your signatures before you leave. Thank you. If you'll recall, we had submitted an application several weeks ago to the Ohio Public Works. I do have a Ohio Public Works Commission Executive Committee meeting this Thursday morning, and I'm assuming at that meeting, it'll be determined as to all who got the successful grants and loans. We had applied for a loan, and that was for the future work for the effluent channel for next year at the wastewater treatment plant. You'll hear from me at my Friday memo if we were successful with our loan application, so I'll file that Thursday morning. You know, we've been trying to set a date for a council administration retreat, and I'm just as much or more to blame as anyone on trying to get a Saturday date that is free. So I thought instead of trying to really juggle this thing and still meet other deadlines that I would really like to meet, meaning a passage in December with the first reading in November, so that puts us work in October. I would like to just keep our regular schedule this year as we've been having. So at our September workshop, I'd like to discuss part one, which would be the operating budget, which we've presented before. And then in October, at our workshop, have the capital plan and put together a 5-year plan, which would be the two pieces that would make for your 2013 appropriations. And if that's acceptable to everybody, then I thought it would just be easier. It just makes it cleaner, easier. We've already had those dates set and times set, so we'll just do it that way if that's okay.
Matt, if it, with all the time that this is going to consume, since we're going to do it at the regular workshops, I mean, that amount of time, those two workshops, could you lengthen them like from 6:30 to whenever, or 7 to whenever, or?
I think that
Could you get-
each department head will have plenty of time to be able to discuss everything with you. I think so. Let me check with them, but I think we'll be fine for 7:30. We'll just make sure we limit it to 2 hours. Although, you know, sometimes we're not real good at that. But if that's okay, we'll just keep it as our typical schedule is already set. Just wanted to remind you that there is a joint school board township council meeting set for Thursday, September 20th at 7 p.m. at the new high school. To get there, you go to the last driveway, and I'll give you directions again. Go to the last driveway and then go into past the tennis courts, and in the back you'll see it says administration on the building. And in speaking about the schools, we did get a little notice. I'm sure maybe many of you might have received the notice in the mail that to try to keep the date open for Sunday, October 14th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the Milton Union School District will be holding their official ribbon cutting ceremony. And it would be very nice if we have good representation from our city council at this time. And that concludes what I have for tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. At this time, does council have any old business they would like to discuss this evening? Okay. We'll move on to new business. I believe we've kind of already discussed that,
Yeah,
so.
you can ignore that. I
Yeah.
put the agenda together on Saturday morning, and then when I was doing my manager's report today, trying to figure out a date, I made a decision, so.
Excellent.
Just ignore that.
Will there be any new business to discuss? Well, that concludes the meeting for this evening. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
So
All
moved.
those in favor say aye. Oh,
Aye.
sorry.